We do expect to make cars that are more affordable than the current Model 3 or Model Y.
In today's episode, Elon speaks to the G20 about his version 11 of the 25K Tesla FSD, and Tesla tries to establish itself as the industry leader in electric vehicle charging, and SpaceX fires up 14 Raptors and 2 engine on its booster for the first time. We will talk about all of that in a few seconds, so keep your eyes and ears focused on this Tesla update. Let's get started! Over the weekend, the G20 summit in Indonesia took place, and Tesla CEO Elon Musk gave a highly anticipated speech. Clearly, Musk has been involved in some major events in North America. He's now reportedly sleeping in his new office at Twitter until he succeeds in whatever he's trying to complete there. Elon thus joined the meeting remotely, which just so happened to take place when there was a power outage. Elon showed us a glowing head on a dim screen lit by candles. It didn't do much to dispel the supervillain stereotype that some people had created for him. However, from a Tesla perspective, the most intriguing part was Elon Musk's question about his thoughts on a program for accessible electric vehicles. The interviewer claimed that as the global EV market rose, there's an increasing demand in developing nations for automobiles that are tailored to their unique requirements. Elon was asked if he had any ideas for producing a Tesla that was less expensive but still of high quality. Maybe call it the Model I for Indonesia or India. I can speak too much about the future development of Tesla products, except to say that we don't think that making a much more affordable vehicle would make a lot of sense, that we should do something, Elon said in response. Elon has returned to the script twice in the last few months, this time discussing Tesla's potential to become an accessible EV platform. Elon first proposed the idea that he could use the new battery and manufacturing technologies to create an alluring electric vehicle with a $25,000 price tag in October 2020 at Tesla Battery Day. Since then, most of the talk has focused on the possibility that Tesla China is working on a compact EV platform that will produce there and export it to other markets. But that was really all we had to go on. For a while, Elon even changed his tune to say that Tesla was no longer seriously considering the idea. The concept was then revealed by Elon during a recent earnings call, telling investors, "We are developing a vehicle that will likely cost about half as much as the 3 and Y platform. To be clear, it will be smaller." It must be a good sign that he's saying it again in front of a large audience now. Although Elon didn't directly address the suggestion that he named the car after a South Asian nation like India or Indonesia, it's reasonable to assume that the Asian market will play a significant role. For the first time in its history, Tesla is actually ahead on vehicle orders thanks to the recent success of Giga Shanghai. In China, there's actually a surplus of vehicles compared to the demand, which has prompted Tesla to lower prices in order to attract new customers. That is also a sign that Tesla China might be able to shift its attention to new research and development initiatives like a next-generation affordable vehicle platform if it isn't constantly chasing after back orders. Whatever the case, it is unlikely that will occur within the next few years. Tesla has Cybertruck production starting in a couple of months, as well as the Tesla Semi getting its facility up and running. Before beginning anything new, they'll likely concentrate on releasing those two eagerly anticipated vehicles. In any case, the fact that he is discussing this on a global scale is encouraging. It indicates that he is still considering more affordable, compact cars and that he is focusing on likely locations to launch that program. In a stroke of brilliance, Tesla has made its electric charging connector design available to the entire industry and has started to position its patent as the North American standard. They've even renamed the connector to NACS, or the North American Charging Standard, which you would think is a bit overconfident. However, the infrastructure for electric vehicles is currently a state of a wild west, so this decision is actually quite clever. The CSS connector is the current industry standard, and replacing it will be challenging given that it has already gained almost universal acceptance. But the NACS connector from Tesla is not only sleeker and more effective, but it is also recognized. That very thing may be the reason Tesla hasn't tried this before. Critics of the industry have been quick to point out that Tesla likely tried to control the infrastructure for EV charging with its technology. The state's requirements for Tesla charging stations to at least have CCS adapters were changed before the most recent regulation. Tesla is a company and businesses exist to make money. It's not a novel idea, but it's much more likely that Tesla wants to benefit from all the additional funding from the US government. There is a specific section on funding for EV station that states that funding can only be provided to stations that work with EVs from multiple automakers, and pushing other EV manufacturers to use their technology rather than modifying it to more antiquated, ineffective designs is a very Tesla move, and others besides Tesla are advocating for this. The American Congress has received about 40,000 signatures on a petition in support of EVs that was started earlier this year by smaller EV company Aptera. In a sector as small as this one, that's not anything, but for the time being, we'll have to wait and see if this strategy is successful. In general, Early adopters determine whether an industry standard will survive or not. Tesla is easily the biggest name in electric vehicles, and they're not above working with other companies if they need to get something done. Over the next year or so, we might see this campaign gain traction and congressional support given the Tesla NACS connector is simply a general improvement over the CCS. Starship and Super Heavy booster prototypes have been moved around the testing area at Starbase Boca Chica in Texas for the past few weeks as they were lifted, stacked, and tested. The record-setting activation of 14 Booster 7's Raptor 2 engines for a fully sustained static fire, however, was by far the craziest incident. And yes, you are not the only one who wondered where the booster went halfway through the video. The engine's 10-second burn produced a massive cloud of exhaust and dust that completely obscured the booster and pad nearly the entire tower. This many engines were turned on at once for the first time by SpaceX. The previous record was a 7-engine burn, and since things went perfectly on that occasion, it looks like SpaceX is interested in stepping up its program. 230 tons of force can be generated by each Raptor 2 engine, depending on the configuration. For obvious reasons, SpaceX has gradually increased the number of them they were firing at once. With the 33 Raptor 2 engines on the Super Heavy booster, you will have to assume that Boca Chica will get a new crater when they conduct a full test, whether the booster survives or not, just based on what happened with 14. The Starship's purpose, however, lies in all that power. Once it prepared to launch, it will be the most potent rocket ever, capable of launching over 100 tons of payload into the low Earth orbit. So it makes sense that the booster would produce such a large amount of dust even only half of its engines operating. This test, however, is currently a step closer to the anticipated flight test and the full 33-engine burn. The Monday burn provided an opportunity to check the functionality of each launch pad and fire suspension systems, and everything went without a hitch. More engines starting up in a larger dust cloud hanging over Starbase shouldn't be far off now. Now, before we go into the last point of this Tesla update, please give this a thumbs up if you're enjoying it so far, and stay tuned until the very end to find out the latest changes in Tesla's fully self-driving system. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, confirmed that version 11 of the company's most recent full self-driving system update has started to roll out. The system started uploading to FSD beta users in the late afternoon of November 11, 2022. Although the update's changelog is still unavailable, we do know it's the biggest feature, the combination of Tesla's autopilot, which is used as a driver assistance systems on highways, with the FSD beta software, which is used on smaller roads and city streets. With the help of the FSD system, drivers can enter their destinations and have the car navigate to them. Despite its name, FSD is not full autopilot, so it's still the driver's responsibility to maintain attention and be prepared to take control if necessary. That being said, FSD has come a long way, and updates are regularly fed to the estimated 1,000 beta testers. Before this version, FSD was a separate fee on top of the autopilot functionality, making autopilot and FSD somewhat distinct. In more recent Tesla models, autopilot is a standard feature. It is capable of emergency braking, collision alerts, monitoring blind spots, and using adapted cruise control, which is very helpful on highways. FSD, on the other hand, has features that are intended for street driving and is capable of handling tasks like lane switching and some degree of independent navigation. It can also park itself. Level 2 autonomous driving system are what both of these systems fall under, with Level 5 being true self-driving. Keep your eyes on the road, everyone. Level 2 system need driver input and supervision. The company is taking a big step by combining the two systems. It gives the FSD system the impression of being more complete, functional finished product. We'll have to wait to see the beta users' feedback before assuming that folding both programs together will make it simpler for the developers to integrate the two systems. Every system has flaws, and major changes frequently expose numerous bugs. But once more, the majority of beta users are accustomed to closely monitoring their vehicles when using FSD's navigation features, so hopefully, we'll get a changelog soon to exactly how this merger appears on paper. So what do you think? Will Tesla really develop or release affordable EV for developing countries? We'd love to know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'm Jules. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. And if you want to know more about some SpaceX updates and what to expect in 2023, then click and watch the next video here.